Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good day, my friends. Okay, um, let's get grounded, shall we? So, coming into any comfy seat, wherever that feels best for you today, is perfect. Take a moment just to settle in there, feeling your hips relaxing, getting heavier down onto the support beneath them. Finding that gentle length of your spine, shoulders rolling back and down. And as you are ready, just let the eyes drop closed. Take a nice big cleansing breath in through the nose and out with sound. And just feel that gradual settling in and settling down. Imagining, I love this time of year. We often talk about the sand timer. Imagining our body as a sand timer and the sand draining down from the top half to the bottom half. But let's imagine ourselves as a snow globe. We're going to shake it up. Well, life has already shooken it up. As you take that next deep breath, just feel the snowflakes, your glitter beginning to settle. Everything settling. Crown of the head softening, face, neck, shoulders softening. Arms and elbows softening down through your back and belly. Down through the hands, the arms, the hips, the legs, the feet. Just feel yourself landing on the ground, landing in this moment, this particular time and space. Welcoming your whole self here into this moment. And placing the hands, the palms, over one on top of the other, right over the center of your chest. And just feel as your breath comes in, expanding through the heart space, through the upper body, into the back of the rib cage. And as the breath flows out, softening through your whole body. And we're going to play with some counts of our breath, add some movement to it, and then option as we continue to move to stay with those counts or just let them drop away and working with the organic rhythm of your breath. But for now, I'm going to inhale for 4 counts and exhale for 4 counts. That next breath comes in, breathing in 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Feel your breath moving in. 2, expanding. 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. And again on your own, just counting for yourself. With your breath arriving with calmness and steadiness into your body. Once more. And then just pausing the counts after your next exhale, continuing to breathe without the counts. Now adding some movement, we'll sweep the arms up and out, just taking a little bit of a heart lift. Maybe shifting your gaze upwards and then bringing the palms back over the heart space, chin towards the chest. Feel a little stretch through the back of the neck, maybe even the upper back a little bit. So with your breath, let's inhale, open. And exhale, returning back to the heart. So as you continue through that movement, some options would be to come back to that 4-count breath if you like. 4 counts in, 4 counts out as you're moving. And second option would be to change which hand is on top each time, just for a little bit more brain balance. You can do as much or as little of any of that. We'll take 2 more repetitions. Last one. As the hands come back to the heart space, pause, breathe, relax, and release the hands down. Beautiful. Then extending the arms out in front of you a little, stop in the name of love, just flexing the hands, so pulling the fingers back towards you as much as you can, straightening out through the elbows and pressing out through the heels of the hands. And then just flip the fingers down, feel that stretch through the front of the wrist. Do that one more time, up and down. Okay, and then up, and from there, think of pushing the wall forward. So you're pushing the arms forward and feel that stretch across your upper back. So I'm not really rounding my back, but I'm just feeling that spread of the shoulder blades. And then the challenge here is to keep those elbows straight because we want to bend them, but try to keep them straight and just draw the shoulders back and down. Okay, and then do that again. Push the wall forward. And this time, stay there, flip your fingers to the floor, and then pull the shoulders back and down. Ooh. Okay, fingers up, push forward. Fingers down, pull the shoulders back and down. Oh, how about one more time? Reach forward, flip the fingers down, draw the shoulders back, and then just make little fists. You can soften the effort through the arms and just circle around. So we're rotating through the wrist, getting all the snap, cracklies, and pops moving. And around the other direction. And then just kind of open, close the fingers, pump a little blood flow out through the joints, and then give the hands a good little shake out there. Good. All right, so if you're sitting cross-legged, let's just change that cross of the legs. So opposite leg in front. Holding on to the front of the knees, rounding your back into that C curve, that cat stretch. So hugging in through the tummy muscles and the front ribs. And then start to tip the pelvis forward. Think of articulating up through the spine here as we lift the heart to the sky. So coming through our seated cat stretches. And again, draw the chin in, start to round through the upper back, middle back, lower back as you tuck the hips. Starting at the hips, tip the pelvis forward, rolling up through the solar plexus, lifting the heart, lifting the gaze, lifting as you inhale, and rolling back down the spine, chin to chest, upper back rounds, middle back, lower back. And just continue there, inhaling on your way up. Exhaling on the way down. Normal breathing or back to those 4 counts if you wish. Last time through. And coming all the way back to your center. Nice big breath in. Good. And then bringing the hands back over the heart center like we just did with the right hand on top. And I take this into a little spirally rotation now. So turning that right palm up, I'm going to sweep it out to the side, gentle twist, gentle rotation to the right with your eyes following the hand and coming all the way back to center. Now this is just a little kind of awkward. We're slipping that left hand out from under the right now as palm face up. We sweep it out to the left, rotating through the rib cage, through the thoracic spine, coming back in. And with your breath, inhale to the right. Exhale back home to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale back to center. Take that on your own one more time each way. Slow, mindful movements integrated with our breath to keep us grounded here, present time, space and time. Next time the hands come back to center, pause. Let's release the arms all the way down. And stretch your legs out. Oh, rock them back and forth, back and forth. Good. Okay, so a couple of options here. You could come back into a cross-legged sit if you like, or perhaps tuck that right foot in and just send that left leg out to the side, just for a little something different. And with the fingertips out to your sides, actually, let's place the right hand to the right shoulder. So from here, just notice, I'm noticing in my body that like everything's moving forward. So can you drop a little bit of weight back into your tailbone? Let these front ribs, if they're flaring a little, just soften in. And become aware of your back body. Okay, I'm just going to take a side bend over to the left, lifting that right elbow, any amount. And back to center, elbow comes into the side. Weaving in our breath, inhaling over to the side. You could look forward or maybe down towards that left hand. Exhale, returning back up. Two more, moving at your own breath body pace. As we come into this next one, let's hold. Staying in your side bend and just circle the elbow around a little bit here, getting some nice shoulder joint juices moving, welcoming in warmth and fresh energy. And a few circles the other way around. And as that elbow reaches back up towards the sky, we might take that arm overhead, breathing into that whole right side of you. And just floating upwards back to your center. And we'll switch the position of our legs, drawing the left knee in, the right leg out, or if you're cross-legged, just switch the cross of your legs again there. And take a little posture check. If your weight, again, is more to the forward edge of the pelvis, can we drop it back into center just a bit? And again, just notice you do have a back body that's supporting you. All right, left fingertips to your shoulder. We take a little side bend over to the right and back. Following the length of your inhale into your side bend. And following the length of your exhale back to center. Let's take two more. Noticing sensations, maybe a little yummy stretch there. And as we come into our side lean, let's hold. Circling just through the elbow. All right, and reverse it. Come back around, the elbow reaches towards the sky, maybe taking the whole arm overhead, breathing into the left side of you. And floating back to center. And folding the legs back in again. Just have a little wiggle wiggle there. And then we're going to come into, I'm calling it the VW movement. That'll make sense in a second. So right now we're kind of in a W shape, right? So the elbows are tucked in, the palms are facing the sides of you. And then we reach up to a V and the palms turn forward. Okay. So from here, reaching out through the fingertips, maybe feeling a little lift in the heart, maybe stretching your gaze upwards. And then as you pull the elbows kind of back and down, so a nice little opening up through the chest, draw the chin inwards. That might feel like a nice stretch across the neck and upper back. And then with your breath, again, inhale, reach up into your V, palms forward. Exhale, pull it down into your W, chin towards the chest. Let's take a couple more, just moving and grooving with your breath. Draw the shoulder blades back and down. So they can lift a little here on the V. So you might even, what the heck, just bring shoulders up to the ears. Why not? And then feel the scapula moving down the back as you pull the arms down. Let's just do one more. Resting the hands down, bringing your gaze center, nice big breath. And then extending both legs back out to that wide straddle, and you might have the knees straight, or you might keep a little bend in the knees there. Again, wherever that feels easiest on your lower back. Feet flexed. Let's grab our soup ladle, interlacing the fingers, and we're going to stir something good up here. So just circling around the pelvis. Coming back to that connection to your breath and grounding. So maybe inhaling as you sweep forward. Exhale, gather the belly in as you circle around to the back. Good. Reversing that. Inhaling halfway through. Exhale, coming around. Last time round. Now as you come center, we're just going to turn the palms up to the sky, pressing upwards. Reaching down through your hips. Again, feel that little lift and hug through your core. Let the shoulders melt down off the ears just a wee bit. Breathing into the 3D shape of you here. All four sides, inhale, expand. Exhale, stay there for that little belly lift and hug. Ribs soften down, slide the fingers apart, and just softly bring the arms all the way down. Relax through the legs. Give them a little shaky out there. Good. All right, then leaning back on the hands, let's bend the knees, and you may or may not want to stay up on your cushion if you're sitting on one here. I'm going to just scoot mine out of the way. Okay, so you've got a wide stance with the legs, the feet flexed if possible. If not, don't worry about it. And just slowly dropping the knees over to one side and back up and over to the other side. So just moving through internal and external rotation. The internal is definitely something we have less of in our yoga practice and in our life. So gentle and easy. Important to maintain that mobility there through the hips. So we'll do a couple more. Nothing forced. Good. Kitty's being very kind and patient right now. This was not the case a little while ago. All right, last time. Good. All right, back to center. And from here, let's come down onto our backs. Just stretching out. Yes, I'm going to put all your toys over here. Right. Right. Stretching out onto our backs. Oh, hello, floor. All right. So just take a moment to kind of noodle around there. Let your back body relax onto the floors. Maybe take some slow head rolls. Good. All right. Now, coming back to center here, and let's place the hands on the bottom of the rib cage, those bottom couple of ribs. And we're going to think of doing a cat-cow movement with the rib cage. Okay. So what that looks like is, and a little bit of that will come down into the pelvis too, but for right now, let's see if we can kind of just find it a little bit more through the solar plexus area. So as you're breathing in, let the ribs flare. And you're going to think kind of arch through the middle back, letting those front ribs come up and out. And then as you exhale, melt the middle back to the ground. You might even feel the ribs sort of knitting in and down towards each other. Again, taking that little arch under the solar plexus. Inhale, let the ribs open up a little through the front. And as you exhale, gather the ribs in, pressing the middle back ribs down into the floor. Just really let them feel the ground. And maybe just do that one more time. Arch and lift. And ribs pressing back and down. Now, doing your best to keep the front ribs still, can you send a breath into the middle back ribs and kind of feel them spreading wide into the floor? And relax on that exhale. Good. All right. And we're going to take that movement down into the pelvis. So for our pelvic tilts, with the idea of not letting the ribs flare real big for this. So our focus, our intention is just to become a little bit more aware of the back body and the support that we have on the floor there. Okay, so as you roll forward onto your tailbone, you might feel a tiny flare in the front ribs, but not a big one. And then as you tuck the hips, feel the low back pressing down, feel those middle back ribs again, pressing gently down onto the floor. Inhale, pelvis tips forward, not very much flare through the front ribs. And exhale, gather the belly in, hips tuck, Low back presses down, middle back ribs press down. Let's just do that 2 more times. So it's like a mini arch and flatten. One last time. Let's stretch through the low back, through the psoas, through the core. And then just come back to neutral and pause there. Okay. Now in your neutral spine, and again, just keeping that awareness of middle back ribs kind of wide and on the ground so there's not much flare through the front. Imagine you've got a big old dinosaur tail and you're just going to sweep it left to right. So the movement is lateral. So if we were to sweep that dinosaur tail to the right, that right hip hikes up towards the shoulder. And we don't even turn the head in that direction. And then sweep your dinosaur tail around to the left, and then the left hip hikes up towards the shoulder. Right, so just play with that side to side, sweeping right, maybe squeezing that right shoulder down towards the hip as it hikes up towards the shoulder and to the left. So it's a lateral bend, side bend. It has a fishy movement to it, right? Like a slow motion flopping fish. That lateral C curve of the spine. Good. Just play with that one more time each way. Mindful of the ribs. Breathing easy. Good. And then coming back to center, pause in neutral, relax. And moving through our wind reliever pose with this awareness that we just did of that little mini arch and curl and pressing down through the back ribs. So what does that mean? It means we're going to extend the right leg out onto the floor, arms overhead, tiny little arch, but again, try not to take it too big into the upper body. So this is kind of low back, hip, psoas loving here. So on your exhale, as that knee comes in, right knee, press down through the middle back rib. As you inhale, extending back out through that right side. There's a length, a tiny arch in the low back, not a big flare of the ribs, but exhale, gather the belly and ribs in as the knee comes in, right knee. Middle back ribs spread wide onto the floor. Let's do that 2 more times. Think that cat-cow movement through the solar plexus. Last one. This time, interlacing the fingers behind that right thigh. And then press the thigh bone forward into the hands. An active press out through the pelvis, the sitting bones, the tailbone, and just a neutral pelvic position. So just trying not to be in an arch or a tuck there as much as possible. It's a tricky place to find sometimes. But think equal length through both side bodies, taking a nice big breath here. And then draw that right knee towards the shoulder, the right shoulder. So a little inner thigh, hip stretch. And press the thigh forward again into the hands, kicking the heel up towards the ceiling, and just taking a couple of ankle circles around one way. Let that thigh bone and hip be heavy down to the floor. Circle the other way. Good. And then we'll place that right foot back down onto the ground. Pause for a moment. Hmm. I'm going to go through that movement on the other side, extending the left leg out, both arms overhead. Little low back arch, not much rib flare. Exhale, gather the belly, the ribs in as the left knee comes to you. Press down through the middle back ribs. Good. 3 more. Take the length of your inhale to stretch out. The length of your exhale to hug back into center. Last 2. Last 1. This time, interlacing the fingers behind the thigh. We'll press forward into that 90-degree angle, reaching long through the spine, through the back. Again, think breath moving into the whole back body, wide open, supported by the ground. And then drawing that left knee towards the left shoulder, little inner thigh hip stretch. And press the thigh bone forward again into the hands and kicking that heel towards the sky. Hello, hamstring, little ankle rotation. And the other way. Good. Bending the knee, coming all the way back down. Pause for a moment. Nice big breath. Good. Sliding both legs out onto the floor. Just give them a little loosey-goosey shake there for a moment. Okay, and then we'll bring our whole body into that lateral C curve. So walking the legs to the left, and you could keep them together, or you could cross the right ankle over top, however you wish there. Right arm overhead, left arm down by your side. And you're just coming into that great big capital C shape, or baby moon laughing sideways, as I like to think of it. And again here, let's bring awareness to the solar plexus. Can we draw the front ribs in and feel breath expanding into the middle back, bottom ribs. Breath opening through the side ribs. And then releasing back through center, bringing both arms down, legs back in line with the hips. Just pause in that neutral alignment. And walk the legs or slide the legs over to the right. Again, they could stay close together or perhaps crossing the left ankle over top. Left arm overhead, right arm by your side. That little baby moon laughing sideways shape. Check in the ribs. Feel almost like you could go into a little pelvic tuck. But bring these front ribs down. Breathing through the back body, the side body. One more breath. And gently release everything back to center. Rocking the legs out. And let everything release. Hmm. And from here, let's come into our reclining butterfly. So soles of the feet together, knees open out to the sides. And we're going to do that same little cat-cow arch and flatten that we've been doing. Okay. Thinking middle back ribs, the bottom ribs pressing into the floor. We're going to add a little kind of yoga sit up with it. So familiar movement, just a slightly different focal point. So let's sweep the arms overhead, tip the pelvis forward. Again, trying to avoid a big rib flare. There might be a little baby rib flare. And then as you exhale, hug the tummy and tuck the hips. Press the bottom ribs down, curl up and reach forward. So the knees are actually coming about halfway up. And then as you roll back down, sweep overhead, little tiny low back arch. Exhale, hugging everything in. Press down through those bottom back ribs. Curl up. Inhale, roll back down. Let's do a couple more of those. And if your neck says, this just is not working for me, you can keep the curl up out of it and just do the arms and the lower body. Last two. And last one. And let the arms stay down, the head comes down. Relax the knees to your butterfly. Roll your head a little side side. Nice big breath. And we'll bring the knees all the way together into the chest. Give yourself a hug. And just circle the knees around. Nice whole back massage there. And a few circles the other way. Good. And as you come back to center, we'll hold behind the legs again, one hand around each leg, pressing the feet back up to the sky. There's that feeling of both legs pressing forward into the hands, the hips heavy. It's like you could plug your thigh bones down to the floor. Good. The back long. And here, middle back ribs or those bottom ribs pressing gently into the floor as you breathe in and out. I know it all feels weird, but hang in there with me. One more breath, legs pressing forward, hips heavy on the floor, back long, bottom ribs pressing down as you breathe in and out. Ooh, bring those knees into your chest. Give yourself one more great hug, big hug of appreciation. Just rock it out there. And might feel nice to come into a little twist, so we could take the arms out to the sides and just drop the knees over to one side as far as is comfy for you. Melting, melting, melting here. And kind of one knee at a time, coming back up through center and right on over to the other side. Gentle twist. melting, melting, melting into that. And again, one knee at a time, comes back up through center, feet to the floor. Ah, gorgeous. All right, let's find our way into waterfall pose. Take your time, roll into your side, coming up, finding a chair, couch, a wall, whatever you like. What you doing, Missy Kitty? You wanna come sit up on the chair? All right, take your time, cozying in here. And actually, before you get too cozy, if you have um, something, weighted blanket, a regular blanket, a pillow, um, that you could lay over your torso for some weight, or warmth, whatever you need today. That might provide just a little extra grounding. I just saw there's a woman whose podcast I love. It's called Nothing Much Happens. You've probably heard me talk about it. It's sleep stories for adults. She's fabulous. But she is releasing something called a weighted pillow that looks really interesting. I might put that on my Santa Claus list that you can like hug or lay over you, or different ways that you can use that for some anxiety relief. Anyways, I'll try to remember to send that to you guys in case you're interested. So just get nice and cozy and comfy. When you're ready, let your eyes drop down, drop close. Let all of your effort go. Just let your body be at ease. Take a deep breath in through the nose and that audible sigh out. Softening down through the jaw, through all the muscles of your mouth, through the corners of your eyes, the space behind your eyes, the forehead and the space behind the forehead, the ears and the space between the ears. Allow your inner gaze just to drift down to the heart center, noticing the soft, gentle rise and fall of your breath there. Allowing the whole upper body to become more and more relaxed with each breath. And shifting your awareness down to the solar plexus where we've been working now, just allowing the ribs to move naturally, no effort. Softening, relaxing through your solar plexus, diaphragm, and middle body. And bringing your awareness into your belly, natural rise and fall of your breath. Softening, relaxing all of the muscles through the lower belly, through the lower back. Releasing the weight of the hips gently down. The legs, the arms, the hands, the feet. Mm. Feel your whole body relaxing here now. And as you're resting, I wanted to read today's message from a book called The Pivot Year, 365 Days to Become the Person You Truly Want to Be. And I thought that today's message was particularly appropriate for this season. You do not have to be grateful for everything in your life. You do not have to be grateful for what you survived, for what you didn't know, for the lessons learned too hard. You do not have to be grateful for the unfairness to live in a world that does not value dignity in the way that it should, a world that has lost its soul. But even in the midst of the storm, when you stumble upon a glimmer of appreciation, I hope you will hold on to that. I hope you will know that it is as real as anything else. I hope you will offer it as much attention as you can give. I hope you will remember that silver linings foretell the light of day that will come. I hope you will know that just because you are not grateful for all of it doesn't mean you aren't grateful for any of it. I hope you will allow yourself to contain more than one truth, that not every phase of your life will tell the same story, that not every piece of this existence will flow congruently to the last, that more is possible, even if the past did not show you that it is, that our greatest dreams and our deepest fears may coexist, and the existence of one does not negate or lessen the other. At the very moment you honor where you are with complete surrender, you open to the next experience that life wants to offer. So may you be filled with your glimmers of appreciation in the simplest moments, in the present moment, relaxing, resting, and practicing the greatest act of self-care here, now. So slowly and gently begin to bring a little awareness back into your body, just feeling, sensing from the inside out. Notice that warmth and soothing, grounding energy of your breath filling you, every nook and cranny of you. Beginning to sense and feel your surroundings, the space around you again. And take your time as you find a little movement through fingers and toes. As you are ready, gathering the knees to the chest, give yourself a great big hug, rolling onto one side. And in your own time, making your way back up to sitting again. Bringing palms over the heart space as you get there. Just allowing that glimmer, that little shimmer, that sparkle of appreciation to start to form here within your heart space for giving yourself this time for self-care, taking this time out of everything else that you are doing today for you, and showering that appreciation to your amazing body, to your breath, to your brilliant mind, to your sweet heart. And just sending a little extra loving kindness to yourself today. Bowing into your sweet heart, sealing all this goodness in with one more breath. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you all for being here today. Namaste. And namaste, Miss Kitty. I think she just needed to soak in some of the energy too.